The Sacramento Kings are 26 games into the 2024-25 NBA season, and they have a record of 13-13, which places them 12th in the Western Conference. It's been an up and down season. It feels like it's been more downs than ups, but all in all, they broke even so far. But will this Kevin Huerter injury update change things for the worse? I'm your host, Mark Haynes, and we'll talk about that and more on this episode of the Bleav in Kings podcast. Now, obviously, we can give a lot of blame to this 13-13 start. We could blame it on injuries if we wanted to, but that hasn't completely been the case. It's been poor 3-point shooting all season. There's been just struggles in the chemistry between the team, as nothing major, but you can just see everybody still starting to trying to learn each other, still figuring out how to play together cohesively on the court. But injuries, yeah, it's been a big deal. You had Malik Monk, who missed about a week and a half. It felt like 2 weeks with the ankle injury. You had DeMar DeRozan, who was in and out of the lineup during that same time. Trey Lyles has been gone for like 2 weeks now or whatever. And now we have Kevin Huerter. Kevin Huerter, who recently has been playing well. He's probably played the best basketball he's played in a long time. Now, I don't even want to try to think about how far back, but he's been playing well. And now the same surgically repaired shoulder that he got when he got injured last season, that same surgically repaired shoulder is bothering him now. It has an issue. It's a different issue. And let me be clear and read this correctly so I don't say the wrong things. I want to give you guys the right information. But yesterday, the Kings announced that Kings forward Kevin Huerter was fouled at the 5:25 mark of the third quarter against the New Orleans Pelicans on Thursday, December 14th, taking a hit to his left shoulder. Imaging revealed a minor AC joint sprain. He will be listed as day-to-day moving forward. So, obviously, it's not an injury that they believe is going to keep him out or, he's going to miss time. He could. That's what day to day means. Day to day, we'll see how he feels on Monday. Maybe he goes through shoot around. Obviously, the Sacramento Kings have practice. They practiced on Saturday and they have practice Sunday, which is today. But obviously they'll see how Kevin Huerter goes and feels, and we'll probably get another update in a couple of hours on his status for tomorrow. I imagine they'll probably leave him at day to day, and it'll be semi game time decision. But is this injury going to be another setback for the Kings, who are currently sitting at 13-13? I don't think so. I say that. I feel good about where the Sacramento Kings are at the moment. Obviously 13-13 isn't the record most Kings fans was hoping that they'll be at, after 26 games. But like I said, it's a long season. And they're sitting in 12th in the Western Conference, which sounds bad, but with this new, it's not new anymore, but it's still new. If you're old as me, it's new. But this new play-in system, it gives everybody opportunity. It gives their a game, about a game or a game and a half or so outside of being in that play-in, that 10 to 7 spot. And I think that's easily attainable. I think they can do that with playing great basketball, because I do, like we said, previously, I do believe this is a talented team that has the potential to be a really good team. And just things haven't been falling, their way yet. And this might be that time, because like I said, a few weeks ago when they were on the losing streak. We're on the back end of everything, and I was like, from this point on is the most important part of the season. And I think the Sacramento Kings, responded well. The last 5 games, they have been very competitive. They're I think the record is 3-2, and the 3 wins coming on the tail end of that 5-game span, which leads us to this 3-game win streak. But even in those L's that they took, they play well. It was small things like chemistry. It's small things that stopped them from winning those games. When I look at the it started, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The Rockets. Am I looking at the right thing? That was 5 games. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Show us. Yeah, the Rockets beat the Rockets 120 to 111. Then they come back and they lose a tough game to the Memphis Grizzlies, 110-115. Then they go beat up on the Victor Wembanyama list. I get that. The Victor Wembanyama list. Yeah, that's good. I did that good right there. San Antonio Spurs, they whooped on them 140 to 113. Then they beat the Utah Jazz 141-97. And then on Thursday, they squeezed by the New Orleans Pelicans 111-109. But what I do like about the Sacramento Kings in those 5 games is players are playing well. You know, really outside of in this last like 4 or 5 game stretch. Let's stick to 5. I don't want to keep flipping around. In this last 5 game stretch, the only player who hasn't shot the ball well is De'Aaron Fox. And I think that's a good problem for the Kings because I don't think De'Aaron Fox is going to shoot the ball bad, you know, a lot of games. I think, I expect a big game from him on Monday. Like, point is, like, he's going to snap out of it a lot faster than it's took, Kevin Huerter or Keegan Murray or, any of the other guys that's struggled from, the field, struggled from 3, which it felt like everybody was, which they were. The Sacramento Kings have been a bad 3-point shooting team, but in this last 5 games, they have shot the ball well. Keegan Murray is a guy that we're really, really tough on and expect a lot in the last 5 games. He's averaging 13.2 points, shooting 49% from the field and 40.7% from 3-point range, shooting 5.4 threes a game. He hasn't missed a free throw either, while still bringing in 7 rebounds. Kevin Huerter was shooting 50% from the field, 41% from 3. Malik Monk, 41% from the field, 37% from 3. Who else? Mar DeRozan, who we don't expect to make threes. He's shooting 45% from threes. It's still Domantas Sabonis. I made a reference earlier that Domantas Sabonis has been the best 3-point shooter on the team, and he still is standing at that. And if you know basketball, I'm not saying, oh, he's a better shooter than any of those guys. But it is what it is. If he's knocking down 50% of his shots, then that's great or whatever. But like I said, De'Aaron is the only person who has kind of struggled when it came to shooting in these last 5 games. And yeah, these are not good teams that they're playing against lately, but you got to get your wins when you can. In some games you can't, these are games you can't lose. You got to make sure you take care of business. Don't play with your food, and worry about, the better teams as you go. Once you got to knock down what's in front of you. And that's what the Sacramento Kings did, for the most part in these last 5 games. But like I said, the two losses that they had during this time or whatever, they played well, they shot the ball well. And I think confidence goes a long way. Obviously, these are NBA players who we don't think need confident boost, but they do. They're human at the end of the day. They have personal lives. They have, you know, injuries that we don't know about. Who knows what they're dealing with? But I think this, 3-game win streak. It's not like, oh, all right, the Sacramento Kings are back. I'm not saying that or anything, but it's definitely a good thing to be on the winning side of things, and it'll be an amazing thing to you know, get a victory on Monday against the Denver Nuggets. Now that's gonna be a different task because that's a different type of beast. Those guys, they've won a championship in the last when it was it 2 years ago or whatever, whatnot. But these guys, this is good. This is a good basketball team, and it's a good challenge for the Sacramento Kings being 13-13, dealing with adversity, and I'm interested in seeing how they respond to playing, a good team or whatever. And it's no offense to those other teams, but we know what they are and who they are. And the Sacramento Kings are trying to figure out who they are. And this part of the season, that's what I Bleav this is all about. This is where you have to find your identity, or you'll remain in that 12 spot. You will remain outside the playoffs and looking in. But if you can figure it all out, keep everything going, like Mike Brown said in that viral clip, you got to repeat the same thing over and over and over and over. And I ain't gonna do it for as long as he did it, but y'all get the point. But the Sacramento Kings have to, take care of business at home, which I Bleav they're 6-7 at home and 7-6 on the road. So it hasn't leaned either way. They're 13-13 for a reason. And this is a time they have to change that. They have to continue to shoot the ball well, because shooting the ball well is going to give them an opportunity to go home with a victory against anybody. Now, that doesn't mean you're going to win every night just because you shoot well, but you have to do the things that you do. Keegan Murray has to continue to shoot the way he shot. Kevin Huerter, hopefully his shoulder doesn't, mess up his rhythm that he's had. And the list goes on and on. You got Malik Monk in the starting lineup now, who's been amazing for them. I think he had a bad game, last game or whatever, but outside of that, he's been great. But the Kings still have some questions to answer, and this is the perfect time to, start figuring it ain't no, excuse me. This is not the perfect time to figure it out. They should have been figured it out. Let me be clear on that. They should have been figured it out. But right now is the time to show it's not too late, but you have to get going. It would be nice if they could extend this streak to, let's see what I Bleav. I think they could get Denver. I think they could get Denver, and I know, you know, Denver is tough, but like I said, it's coming off of a 3-game win streak. They're rolling, um, playing well, playing the best they've been playing this season. Yeah, that's that's fact. I had to think about it after I said it, but yeah, they're playing the best basketball that they've played all season long. They go into Denver. I mean, Denver comes to Sacramento at the Golden One Center, and I think they could get a win there. I think that could put them above 500. Now you have a really, really good opportunity to extend this win streak. They would be at 4. If they could get past Denver, they would be at 4. Then you get a back-to-back shot at the Los Angeles Lakers, potentially without LeBron James in both of those games. And both of them games are in Sacramento. Now, that if you can win both of those games, you're at home, you're sleeping in your own bed, you're eating your own food that your wife or whoever's cooking for you is preparing. You don't know travel, man. Everything is set. It's right before Christmas, and you actually don't even go on the road again till after Christmas. So you get to be home for the holidays. You got a lot of reason to feel good if you're a Sacramento Kings player. And LeBron James might not be here. And the Lakers with LeBron James, they're a solid team. We're not gonna say that. We're not gonna sit there and act like they're this amazing team or anything like that. But they're a solid team, and they've been better than the Sacramento Kings thus far when LeBron James has been on the court. But since he's on this, this leave right now, this is a great opportunity to steal 2 more games. And that would be a 6-game win streak you got going into Indiana. And Indiana is they okay. They're decent. They are, what's their record? The Pacers this season. Why can't I just get it to pull up quickly? The Pacers this season. Hold on, let me back it up. Let me take it back. They're okay. And it is largely because they're in the East. But the Pacers at 11-15, that could be an opportunity to stretch it to 7. You could get to 7. Excuse me, my bad. But yeah, 7. And then after the Pacers, you have the Detroit Pistons. And that was Bleav after Christmas Day, I believe. Let me see. That is boom, boom, boom. Yeah, December 26th. So after Christmas Day, hopefully the guys aren't, too full on the home fed meals and, staying up late with family, spending family time. You should be able to wake up the next day, rest up, get prepared for the Detroit Pistons. And that would make it a 6, 7, 8-game win streak. And if they could go 8 games right now, that would make them 21-13. And now they're sitting in a totally different position. Now, all the struggles we talked about, Keegan Murray is shooting 20% on open shots. The Sacramento Kings can't make a 3. Mike Brown needs to play Keon Ellis and do this and do that. And Mark Haynes needs to shut up on his Bleav in Kings podcast. All that'll go away. And everybody in Sacramento will be singing another tune and be happy because the Sacramento Kings are 21-13. And if they have a record of 21-13, they'll probably be top 4 in the West, maybe even higher, because teams are losing games. Now, what are the chances of them going on an 8-game win streak? I think it all starts Monday, really. I think Monday is going to be the toughest one to get. I think if they can win that game, I think that gives the Sacramento Kings a ton of confidence. I Bleav it gives them a ton of momentum going into that back-to-back. It's not a back-to-back, but they play the Lakers 2 times in Sacramento, with the day of rest in between. They get to go into that mini series with momentum that if you get past them twice, if you beat them twice, which is going to be tough, that might be realistically, that could easily be a split. That could easily be a split. But, winning is contagious. And if you could keep it going, it's going to end at some point. But the Sacramento Kings have to be looking at the schedule and they have to be looking at this opportunity and saying we need to take advantage of this. Because let's say they lose 2 games. Let's say they lose to Denver. Let's say they lose one of those games to the Lakers. That puts them at 19-14. Think you still at a good spot. Because I don't think they should lose to the Pacers. I don't think they should lose to the Pistons. Those games, I'm not even gonna break down on like what if they lost. If they lost to them, then I think we still have the same Sacramento Kings team that we had in the first 26 games. A team that's not, like I said, a team that's talented, but at that point, right now, I've been saying they're a talented team that has the potential to be really good. If they lose those games, if they come out of this next 5-game stretch with a losing record, I say that. If they come out this next 5-game stretch with a losing record, then the Sacramento Kings are a team that is talented and not living up to expectation, because these are games you have to get. This is an important part of the season because it's going to turn back up. You go have plenty of games to lose down the road when you playing against, you know, the Dallas Mavericks. You got the Grizzlies coming again. You got the Warriors, the Celtics, and Bucks, and Rockets, Warriors. You got all these teams coming, and that's when it's going to get really tough. And that's where, if you're a good team, what's the saying? Iron sharpens iron, or whatever. That's what's gonna be happening on the back end of this schedule. If you're a good team. If you're still trying to figure it out, then that means you're a bad team. And if you're still trying to figure it out later on when other teams are pushing and making a run for the playoffs, it's gonna get ugly. And they ain't gonna take it easy on us. And they ain't taking it easy. So you gotta get ready. This is a really, like I said, this was about a week or two ago, or a couple of episodes ago. I said this was a very, very important time of the season, and I think this extends that time. Like, you have to get these wins. You can't drop these games. You can't fall apart. Injuries are going to happen. They're going to happen. Hopefully, Kevin Huerter is good, is okay to play in most, or in most of those games, because they're going to need them. Then, right around the corner, you're looking at January. January is the time that rookie Devin Carter is expected to potentially, be on the basketball court. Who knows what he's going to be able to bring this late in the season? Like, not late, but it's like, we're approaching the midway mark, and guys have it going. They're in rhythm, not have it going, but they're in rhythm. They've been playing. They're in season shape. Devin Carter would be a rookie coming into a foreign situation. He's never played a game in the NBA, and he would be playing for a team. It'd be similar to Keegan Murray in his situation, his rookie year. You're coming into into a season with a team that has expectations to win. So your leash, it might be Mike Brown might have a short leash on him. It's not gonna be if the Kings are competitive down the stretch, it won't be a lot of opportunities for him to make mistakes. And rookies need to make mistakes because they're going to make mistakes. That's how you learn from those mistakes. And he's coming in a very tricky and difficult situation with missing training camp. He hasn't played basketball since college. Since college. Last season. So you coming into a competitive environment. I know fans, have expectations for him, but Devin might be somebody you have to be patient with, and the Kings might have to bring him in slowly. He probably, obviously, he probably play some G League games or whatever, so you probably could go check him out with the Stockton Kings, especially when things start ramping up. I know I will. I'm gonna definitely catch whenever he play. I got to see him for his first game. So yeah, I'll be long as it's in Stockton. That is, if it's in Stockton, I could travel. But if the first game is in one of them other states or whatever, I can't even think of, like, Austin. I know all the Austin Spurs are going to be in Stockton, I think this weekend or whatever. I know they come soon, so I know a few of the states and the cities of the G League teams. But no, as long as he's in Stockton, and for his NBA debut, I am definitely going to be there, because I have to see, how do we feel he's going to be able to fit with this team. Another guard with a team that's already guard heavy. You got guys like Keon Ellis, who's played well over the last, 2 seasons. He's leading the team in plus minus, and he's getting DMPs all of a sudden. So Kevin Huerter, has been up and down, but he's going to get his minutes. Malik Monk, he's going to get his minutes. You got De'Aaron Fox, obviously going to get his minutes. So it's going to be interesting to see what Devin Carter can do and what opportunities he gets. More so, that's probably the biggest thing, because when I look at this roster, obviously, if he was healthy, let's say he was healthy, right? And if he was shooting the ball well, he would have played, because nobody was shooting good. So, that would keep you on the court. But that's not, from my understanding, that's not necessarily his game. He can shoot the ball, but that's not what they're bringing him for. He's more of an all-around player. But like I said, rookies make mistakes. That's why they call them rookie mistakes. And I don't know if I don't know. That's what I would say. I don't know. I'm looking forward to seeing what Devin Carter brings and how he can help this team get over this hump. Can he? Is the Kevin Huerter injury, is it going to be something that's lingering and bothering him as we go see a dip in his performance? Will Kevin Huerter's injury allow Keon Ellis to get back into the rotation and playing consistent minutes and whatnot? There's a lot of things the Sacramento Kings have to answer, but the good thing is none of them are really, really big issues. The biggest issue is just going out there, competing every night, shooting the ball well, and doing the things that the Sacramento Kings can do. As long as they go out there and play like themselves, play like the team that they're supposed to be, the team that they were set up to be, I think the Sacramento Kings will be all right. I think it'll be a great finish to the season. I think the beam will be lit enough to get them into the playoffs. I still think that. I don't think they're out of the playoffs. I don't think they're a bad team, but we'll see in these next 5 games. And once again, this is going to be the conclusion of this episode. And I'm your host, Mark Haynes. If you didn't know, now you know. But this is the Bleav in Kings podcast. Until next time, I'm out.